Okay, that Hashem will bless us with rain. It says in the right time, like Friday nights when people aren't going out, but yeah, um, we'll take any blessings in Cape Town. Guys, help yourself to a tea, coffee. We're going to start. Okay, so good morning on this special day of Tiferet Sheba Yesod, which means we're in the Sfirat HaOmer, counting the Omer period, which is why we're doing the 49-day personal development workshop here on um, the Sfirot, on the different personality traits, attributes that we've been created with. And the week that we're in right now is the week of relationships, the week of bonding, and as the foundation, interpersonal foundation of who we are. Chaya Or, if I can ask you when you have a chance to just pull up that Sphera chart again, that would be great to look at. But in the meantime, to just remind everybody and also the newcomers on the journey. So you see this, yeah, Michelle, you've got it, great. You see this diagram, this Kabbalistic diagram of the Sfirot, which is basically a diagram of 5. It goes into the 6th and then comes down to the 7th. What is that? The 5 are basically our personal Sfirot, and the 6th is the interpersonal, is like how we take our 5 of who we are, our 5 connection points, and I'll tell you exactly what they are in a moment. And then the 6th is how we move that into our relationships, whether it's our primary relationship or our partner, parents, children, and secondary relationships, siblings, etc., and all relationships like friends, community, world, etc. And then Malchut, the 7th, we'll do next week, is how we get into a state of absolute flow. So hopefully we worked on ourselves. Thank you, Chayora. That we are okay. So if we could just zoom in, we're not concentrating on the top 3 intellectual midot. We are concentrating on the exactly as you, yeah, she's zooming in on the 7. There you go. Okay, so the da'at is at the top, is just like part of the intellectual midot, which is the connection between brain and body, how we integrate. Then the first week was chesed, was giving, our element, our personality trait of giving and kindness and love and all the generosity of our heart. And that's how we start, because Hashem started the world, chesed, olam chesed yibane. Hashem created the world with chesed. That's how we start everything. Mitzvahs are done often with our right hand, because it's like the right arm of chesed, of giving and giving kindness, loving kindness. And that's how we should always start our relation, who we are, And then we move into Gevurah. We need to balance the chesed, the giving, with the boundaries and discipline, and like making a vessel for the love to hold, and having strength. And this is self-discipline, but it's also like, just in general, a good balance to the chesed. We're not going to go through them thoroughly, just like kind of reminding so that we could move on to where we are. And then the balance of the chesed and gevurah brings us to Tiferet, which is the yellow, the harmony, and which brings us to a heart space of empathy. We can now fully express our love with a boundary that brings us to a place of true compassion, that compassion can be realized and expressed, and that this is actually compassion on ourselves, compassion on others. That's very important heart space. So it's kind of like a byproduct of chesed and gvura, which is why it's in the middle, but it's also kind of like brings out the compassion within us. And then we move into the 4th week, which is Netzach, the purple, which is endurance and perseverance. And this is like the right thigh moving forward on the right leg, like just that go-gettedness and the goal setting and stuff that like we need every day in life to be successful, etc. But we need to temper it and balance it with week number 5, which was last week, which is Hod, gratitude, humility, being, not just doing, like reflection, not just projection, etc. And having that having the beautiful balance of like, the weekday Shabbat or like the morning and the evening. Like we just have that like netzach hod balance. And we need to find that in life, the work-life balance, etc. And hod is always like bringing Hashem into gratitude with everything that we're doing. We're partnering, we're netzach, we're partners with Hashem. We should never forget on the other flip side, like, on that line is like the gratitude that we have and like thanking Hashem for every move that we make and etc. So those five form our personal midot, and now we move into relationships. So the first thing I'm going to start with, and even though it's interpersonal, I'm going to start with our own relationship with ourselves, because we cannot be good with other people if we don't have a positive relationship with ourselves. So the first thing is like just looking at your relationship with yourself. Are you self critical? Are we self-judgmental? Do we self-talk down? Like how are we expressing positive love, boundaries, compassion, motivation, and gratitude and humility with ourselves? Okay, so like taking all those five midot and spirot and asking, are we like doing that with our body, with our soul, with our brain? Like when a cute example is sometimes you mess up on something, and like I once said to at home, I once said, oh man, that was so stupid of me. And my little daughter says, you're not allowed to talk lashon hara about yourself. So I was like, you're not allowed to talk gossip about yourself. You're not allowed to you're not allowed to talk down to yourself. You shouldn't call yourself stupid, like, so actually, even though you're there and you're, so okay, that was a mistake. I'll learn from it, like reframe the wording. Um, so just we must be careful about our self-thoughts and our self-words and then like our actions, like sadly today's day and age, like people are taking like really like doing self-harm. Why are they doing self-harm? Because they're thinking of themselves badly and they're speaking of themselves badly, even if it's internal talk, even if they haven't like, and then that leads to self-action. That's harmful. So we need to shift it around and obviously do positive self-thoughts. Every time we catch ourselves having a negative thought, right away switch it around and just say, even if you're faking it, doesn't matter. Whatever you tell the brain, even if it's fake, the brain listens, the brain's hearing. It's like that's your algorithm of your brain. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's basically like, it doesn't matter what you're talking about on your phone, whether you like, I once went to my sister who had a newborn, and we were talking about newborns, and I was holding the baby. The next thing, my whole algorithm is filled with newborn feeds. I was like, guys, you got it wrong. It was like my sister, wasn't me. But okay, the point is that it doesn't matter if it's fake. The brain is listening. So the way we see it with algorithms is exactly what's happening with our body. And it's actually a really great mashal, and it's a really great like AI is really teaching us a lot about who we are, like, and how our body listens to ourselves, and like how we need to like train our thoughts to be in line with what we want the feed to be. So um okay, so basically the first thing is that we're changing our thought process. The minute we catch ourselves thinking something negative, we're shifting it. And slowly but surely, it might be in the beginning, you take a while to realize. And then the second time, it's like a little bit less time. And then eventually, it's going to be like a quick shift from catching that unconscious thought to making it a conscious positive thought. And that's the switch we want to get to. That's the mindfulness we want to get to. And you can see it in all other areas of life, like when we grow, it's not that we're always going to be perfect. We're always going to have those unconscious things that happen to us. But the minute that we have consciousness, um, the minute that we like realize that, oh, wait, I just caught myself doing that, don't be hard on yourself, because that would be like, again, counterintuitive, like it again, just say no, with no judgment, just say, okay, I caught myself. It's a fact. I caught myself doing that. This is like 35, 45, 65, I don't know how many years of like neural pathways that have been built up doing something. So obviously it's going to take a lot of like practice and change until we build a new neural pathway, which is going to be positive thoughts about ourselves. And then just catch yourself speaking positively, like, and fake it. Like, so now I've started to like, when I get dressed in the mirror, like in the morning, I used to like not say anything, now I bring myself to say kind words to myself, like, and to my body, and to just like, I'm training my brain to think in this way. So I'm like specifically like using my voice, using my words, finding something nice to say. Just every day, it's just becoming like it's a ritual, it's a practice. Like just thank you for serving me, thank you for all the hard work you're doing, buddy, and also you don't have to hold on to the baggage. It's fine now. I'm protected, I'm safe, it's good. Like, so like whatever it is that whatever it is that you need to say, if you have like, I mean, actually on Kavana app, Debbie has a beautiful shout out to the Kavana app, and shout out to Debbie who does beautiful meditations on the Kavana app. I can post that afterwards on the group as well. It's been posted on our Soul Talk group, but if anyone needs it, also remind me. There's a beautiful self-love about body talk. It's about anything. Like if there's any part of your body that maybe you don't appreciate or haven't loved or whatever, like just saying nice words to it every day. Like, so that I think that time when you're just quickly getting dressed in the morning, whether it's fast or slow, whatever it is, it's just a nice ritual time to quickly do that. You know what I mean? Just to like, it's always good to set a time that you want to perform your ritual or your practice so that it actually happens. Otherwise, it falls away. It's like it's a nice habit to form in a specific gevura in the boundary of time, and space. So that's like using our chesed and our gevura together to bring tiferet, compassion, and netzach is like doing this daily, creating a daily habit and having the consistency. And Hod is like always thanking Hashem, like, and just being grateful and humble about it, right? So like in that little practice, we've just brought like all those sfirot into one practice. So you can just see how like everything is intertwined, like we're using the muscles of every part of these midot, of all these attributes in like one, in everything that we do, really. Hey, Chaya. So okay, so that's covering self positive bonding and relationship and like kind view on yourself, and that's the first start of Yesod. And I believe like the way we love ourselves is the way that we're going to love others. The way we're compassionate to ourselves. Like when you find yourself that you're hard on other people, it's because you're hard on yourself. Like you hold yourself to a very high critical standard. Like you give yourself strong critique around your standard. You've got a very high standard. And this came from lots of conditioning and it could be a good thing. Like holding yourself to a high standard is a wonderful thing. On the other hand, it could be a hard thing if you are not compassionate, So oh, thank you for posting I see you posted the Kavana app. The new meditation. Yes, very nice. Okay, thank you. So it's very important that when we're hard on others, we look at ourselves, we say like, oh, am I hard on myself? And you'll find if you actually look inside that you actually are hard on yourself. We actually many of us are, I think like it's very, very prevalent. I mean, from everyone that I've spoken to, it seems to be that we are generally, as human beings, hard on ourselves. We are generally being conditioned to be to take a hard look at ourselves. And I think it's because everybody that like, from as a newborn, you're not hard on yourself. You're like, well, help me, but like as we grow, we're conditioned into, all that criticism, like conditions us to say like, oh, like look at yourself like roughly, like there's right, you're doing a mistake. You did it. So we kind of build up that neural pathway of like, I'm not good enough. I'm making mistakes. I have to be hard on myself. And then, so we needed like sort of unlearn our conditioning and reteach ourselves as adults and teaching our inner child new conditioning. So, so the first thing is to be kind to yourself. Also to have self-discipline. I'm not saying like you shouldn't have gevura, you shouldn't have self-discipline, but do it with love. And I want to give you an example of like something like in my own life that it's been a process. Like in the beginning, I remember like 2 years ago or something, like 3 years ago. I'll give you a vulnerable example because like we only like sometimes I think that we learn through sharing vulnerability, because like if I don't share this with you, it's not, you won't understand the example. Maybe you won't understand the what I'm saying. So just in my own life, a few years ago, I did this like diet, for example, but I was very hard on myself. I was like, no sugar, no flour, da 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 da. Like, well, I lost amazing weight. It looked amazing. Everything was good, but I hated it. The whole time I was like, this is not my soul. This is not my soul. Like, every time I was like, I was happy I was losing weight, but I was not happy that I was doing it in such a harsh way. It was like, and like my trainer, my food coach was like, enjoying the experience. Eventually I cracked. I was like, I didn't crack, but I was just like, no way, I'm not doing this. Like I was like, I give up, I'm not doing this. And you know what? I actually ends up gaining back the weight. And I said to her, like, it's just not my soul. I can't do this in like the way, like, and then I went the other extreme, like intuitive eating and like just be kind to yourself and be compassionate and like whatever. If you need it, then maybe you need it. And da, 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 da. And so like I practiced compassion in the last 2 years and like it's gotten to the point now where I'm like done with the compassion, like enough with the compassion. It's like you know, it's getting me nowhere. It's keeping me on maintenance and it's like it's wonderful, but it's like it's also not wonderful because like I need to rein it in a little bit. Like I need more gevura, more rein it in. But now I'm ready to practice the same practice that I did before without being hard on myself. Like with like this like level of compassion that I've now integrated into myself and saying like, okay, go back on that practice, but when you mess up, don't be so hard on yourself. Just be like, okay, no judgment, move on, new day, new meal, etc. And that is what I like. That's what I'm practicing now. Like just being in like a new flow of the same boundaries, but in a different mindset. And I really believe that that was the work that I had to do. I had to like first experience that to understand what I need to do, but then I didn't have the right level of tiferet. I had the huge gevura. Do you know what I'm saying? I had a huge amount of like of that boundaries and discipline and self-discipline, but it was just like without the tiferet heart space, it was really like hurting my soul. So and it was about my own process. It wasn't even with anyone else. It was like my own, it was like just me in my own head and my, and even like even though it wasn't interpersonal with my food coach, but I was telling her, help me not self-sabotage. Do you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like she was like being hard on me, like against my will. Like I was like, hold me strong. Like, like, so now I'm working with the same person and we've both gone through the journey. And it's like, actually, it's really nice to get to that place where we, like where I'm now integrating Tiferet into my Gevura. You understand? So just back to the Yesod of being kind to yourself, but with obviously keeping the discipline. And now that's what I'm talking about. You understand now the context. Okay. Any questions? Any comments? You're welcome to chime in. You're welcome to chat. Yeah.
These. So
Yeah.
so this body that's busy reflecting to us. So Gevura is on the left-hand side and Chesed is on the right-hand side. I thought the person was facing us. I didn't know, I didn't realize. So I thought Chesed was on the left and
Mm.
Gevura was on the right. So thank you for clarifying.
Oh, for sure. Yes, chesed on the right. And it actually we should add to this like thing, right side and left side, so people can see like maybe it would be useful. That's good. Okay, cool. Anyone else? Anything? Now we're going to move into our interpersonal relationships, and we're going to look at how, so obviously with a lens on, so everything's a mirror. Like if what Hashem brings you, so this is a very interesting thing, like our soul is searching for self-refinement. Okay. So we chose the people in this world that will help us self-refine. Sometimes it's a hard choice. Sometimes it's a hard journey. Like it's not like just simple, fairy tale stuff. Like, okay, you marry someone, you're so similar, everything's wonderful, you're in love. Oh, it's just so easy. No, it's not like that. Like getting married is sometimes like giving each other two shovels to shovel each other's shice. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it's like this is how this is how this is really like just to, I mean, obviously there's loving moments and it has to be based on chesed and there has to be love and there has to be absolute deep connection, etc. But you're mirroring each other and you're working with each other. Sometimes it could be that you're similar, sometimes it could be that you're a completely puzzle piece different, but you're fitting in with each other in the sense of like you are teaching each other and supplementing each other in what each one doesn't have, in order to teach the other what we need to grow in. Now, if we see it in that way, then our relationships are beautiful and they are sustainable and happy and healthy. And okay, it might be a little tough sometimes to navigate something, but I see the purpose, I see the goal, right? I see how it's helping me, it's serving me, etc. And if we don't see it in this way, then it keeps like then we suffer by knocking our head against like, oh, can't you just be more like me? Can't you just be can't it just be easier, etc. Hi, Bettina, didn't see you. Um, so basically, it's very important that we understand that our soul chooses a journey to self-refine. That's what soul talk here. If we look at it from a body point of view or paper point of view, sometimes it doesn't actually add up. But from a soul point of view, um, like it's really important that everybody that we realize that our soul chooses our partners, our soul chooses our parents, our soul chooses our children. We have those people in our life to and the place we work in and the place we live in and everything is like kindly and lovingly even if it's challengingly directed by Hashem in order to grow us and to stretch us, as I always say, and not stress us, and to like refine us as people. And if we have that value and that view, then our lives will continuously grow and we will continuously appreciate the people around us for serving us. I always say like, thank you, when I'm having a hard time with my kids or something like, or my husband or whatever, I'm just like, thank you, Hashem, for my avoda, for my service of soul. Like, thank you, Hashem, for like really bringing this to me. Like, it's just like a moment where I have to like get perspective and just take a deep breath and just like before I like lose the plot. So, so it's very important to have this general view. And then we're going to say like we're mirrors. Like, so this is a very interesting concept. Like sometimes we're like, no way could we have that part that I'm looking at that is so annoying in me. Like, so for example, the Baal Shem Tov says that like every person is a spiegel, everyone's a mirror, that when someone brings something to you that triggers you, that you don't like, it's there to show you something in yourself that needs to be repaired or refined. So I'm going to give you an example that someone once gave me that was perfect in understanding how this could be. So and I credit Renee Lighton with this. She was once a coach of mine, and she's an incredible author and coach. And anyway, she taught me this, and she said, and this is coming like she taught me from like a psychology point of view, not even like, but it came from what the Baal Shem Tov speaks about this in Hasidus, and it's like it's amazing to see the alignments. But I had to understand it from like with this tool. So she said her daughter in the morning, the one day she said her daughter came from a bunch of friends. She's a teenager. She's like a young adult. She's going out with friends. She's like, comes home. She's like, I'm sick of being the most generous one. Like, I'm always the one who's like laying out the tab, paying the tab, like doing everything. My friends are so stingy. I can't deal with it anymore. Like, they need to like get more generous. What's wrong with them? So like, why can't they just like offer like I do? Like, it's just. So she says to her daughter, um, what, you know, maybe there's a stingy part in you. She's like, what do you mean stingy? I'm the generous one. Like how are you going to explain my stinginess? She says, well, not in money, but like in the morning when you wake up and you come downstairs for like a cup of coffee, you are very stingy with your smile, your hello, you know, you're not giving anyone a hello and no, and nobody anything. So I was like, so that was like a brilliant example of how sometimes it could be in a completely different context but it's there. You understand? So like it doesn't mean that just because um you can't see it, it's not there. Like you have to understand, you have to really unpack it. And maybe, I mean, at that point, maybe if you're talking, if you're frustrated with a partner, it's not the time to ask the partner, but ask a good friend. Like where if you can't see it, like ask, or if this is a good friend that's frustrating you, ask your partner, like where could there be this element of character within me? Like how? Like that is irritating me. Like, and then maybe someone who loves you deeply, and if you're prepared to hear the answer, will be able to help you to understand why it's triggering you. And the litmus test on is this here because we always see things for two reasons, either to help ourselves or to help the other. Okay, so like refining ourselves or refining the world. There's so either you might be asking the question like how when something comes to me, am I supposed to be helping a person? Am I supposed to be teaching them the right way? Or is this for my own self-growth? So the litmus test, according to Chassidus, is like this is the litmus test. If you are triggered by someone and you get a feeling of like an emotional rush that like tells you like, oh, just even ever so slightly, if there's just a slightly irritated experience reaction, or it is a very irritated reaction, whatever it is, then that is there not to teach the other person, but to grow yourself. That is like a character that's within you, that's a mirror, and it's like there to help you grow yourself, to look inside and to develop yourself. And if you're not triggered, like let's say you do see someone and they do something wrong, but you're not triggered, you actually have compassion for them, then your answer is go help them because you don't have like a bias, an ego bias around it. It's just really like, oh, I see this, but it's really just a feeling of like compassion. Maybe I can help them. There's zero trigger, like irritation. So you have to really be in your body to understand what's happening in your heart space and to know what why Hashem brought this to you to see. Is that clear? Does anyone have any comments or questions? Okay. I think you can unshare the screen. Thanks, Chayora. All right. So it's something to think about, just to reflect on. It's a very big thing. And Yesod, this is the reason it says Yesod is because it's like the foundation. Like how we, you know, the Torah has 630 mitzvot, but someone once came over to, I think it was Rabbi Hillel, and he said on one foot, like it was someone who was trying to irritate him. It's like maybe he was looking to convert. I'm not sure if he was not Jewish. He was like, give me he was on one foot, give me everything about the Torah. Like what is the Torah about? And Rabbi Hillel told him, there's one thing, love, do not do unto others what you wouldn't want done to you. Like love your fellow as yourself. That's like v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. That's the basis of the Torah. Everything else is commentary. And that's like so huge. That's why it's called Yesod. Like why relationships is called Yesod because it's like it's our foundation. We like our foundation is like, I mean, you could live in an island all by yourself, but you wouldn't be able to refine yourself and refine the world in the same way. And Hashem, and sometimes we need to go retreating to the islands, to just get like our Nadia's in an island right now. Just to just to kind of like balance ourselves and to like go like we needed to have the Echad retreat to like go back into ourselves. But then the goal is to go and like interact with the world and to bring Hashem into our spaces, into ourselves, into our families, into our communities, into the world, and to bring and you need it and when you do that you are going to have interpersonal relationships. There's like no way you can get around it. It's like it's a foundation of our mission in this world is to bring refinement to ourselves and bring refinement to the world, to others. So this is the Yesod. And now like I'm going to obviously as a main point say that we're going to also talk about like I should have spoken about it in the beginning, because just like I spoke about self-love, connection and love, self-love is really, and the spiritual side of self-love, it's really your relationship with Hashem. It's really like, I know this sounds crazy, but like if you really have a strong relationship with Hashem and you realize that you are a part of a spark of Hashem within you, and you realize that Hashem, the divine, is the source of everything that's going on in my life and in the world, then we wouldn't be self-critical because we're like, I'm a spark of Hashem. I'm an awesome spark of Hashem. I'm like, how can I criticize Hashem? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you can be critical on you can be, and I don't want to say judgmental, but like you can be you can give yourself non-judgmental self-critique. Okay, like there's a very big difference between judgmental and critical on yourself and non-judgmental self-critique, which is cheshbon nefesh, which we should be doing every single night, accounting of the soul. Okay, we should say all the things that we're proud of ourselves and that we love that we did and we accomplished, and thank you Hashem for that. Like I always say, my Baruch Hashems, thank you for the day. And then also your Be'ezrat Hashems, your things that you want to ask Hashem to do better next time. You need to know your flaws in order to correct them, right? Like so, but I would like to challenge you, are you to at least have as many praises for yourself as flaws? Like it's very easy to like write all your flaws down of the day and not as many praises. So if you're gonna do the cheshbon hanefesh, the accounting of the soul every night, take out your journal, write down at least 3 praises for yourself of thank you Hashem, what I did well today, and then at least, and then 3 Bezrat Hashem's, like Hashem, please God, I can do this better tomorrow. I didn't do this so well today. Like a little, which is like, you know, your your good, your positive attributes and your drawbacks, you know. So and because I mean, like I can see with humans in general, we all like this, that we much more our pathways for being, like I said, but for being critical are much more wide than our pathways for being praiseworthy of ourselves. But now, like, just go back into the spiritual essence of it. We are a spark of Hashem. So our relationship with Hashem, and to know that Hashem is loving, the source, the divine source, has shefa and abundance and all the blessings stored up in the treasury right above our crown, like right above our keter, like waiting for us to unlock it. And the main thing that unlocks it is our relationship with Hashem. Our Yesod with Hashem is our emunah bitachon, our faith and our strong trust in Hashem, that Hashem wants this for us and that everything's the minute we unlock, that's the key to unlock all our blessings. The only reason our blessings are sometimes blocked is if we doubt this. And if we think that we're in control, or the world's in control, or something else is in control. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like the boss is in control, or the how good I am at something is in control. Like, but if we realize Hashem is in control and I surrender completely to Hashem, then the relationship with myself is also much better, because like I'm a part of Hashem. I'm like, yes, I've got wounded animal soul coping mechanisms, okay, that surround my godly soul, that surround the spark of Hashem within me. So, but every day in the morning, I'm saying like, Hashem, the spark that's within me, that is you, is pure and perfect and untouched. Okay, my wounded stuff around me is my conditioning, is how I've grown up, etc. It is my thought processes, my speech processes, my actions, the things that might have like a, but go back to your inner core. What are you at your source? What are you in your real self? That's your real self. The rest of it is just the noise around it. Do you know what I'm saying? So go back to who you are and get in touch with your Yesod. Once you get in touch with your own Yesod, you're part of Hashem, your spark of Hashem within you, you're untouchable. Nothing can break that. Like nothing can, your relationships will be untouchable. Everything that comes to you, you recognize that's like with faith and trust, Hashem, you're bringing this to me with love. Hashem is a loving, divinely divine light that is surrounding you and wanting your best. We are the ones that block the light. We are the ones that block the source of blessing coming in through our blockages. And that's not our pure spot. That's just our wounds. That's our wounds. That's our coping mechanisms that block it, right? So we need to just like remind ourselves constantly in order to build that neural pathway. Every time we get a thought of like, oh, this didn't work out, and why is that person, or why am I, or why, then just like gently, without judgment, just be like, 1 second, Hashem is in control, right? And Hashem loves me, right? And I can love myself. And maybe this wasn't perfect. Maybe there was a reason for this. Maybe, oh, okay, cool. Maybe this is like, everything has happened. Not maybe, everything happens for a reason. I need to trust this, you know? So when I trust it, everything unlocks then as like calm, and then my relationships become much more in flow, and my relationship with myself, my relationship with others, my relationship with Hashem. So it's really ultimately about your relationship with Hashem, because that helps your relationship with yourself and helps your relationship with others, etc. So at the heart and source of this, my soul friends, I have to say, is the spark of your soul. So that's why it's called Soul Talk. Like we do a lot of psychotherapy of it. Like it's psycho soul stuff, because like without the neshama, you can only go so far, you know? Okay, so questions and comments before we bring this into a meditation, so that we can bring it into our body at a knowing, felt heart space. Like instead of just the brain space. Anything that comes up for you? Yes, Nadia, unmute.
Hi, everybody. In terms of like Yesod and relationships, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and particularly like romantic relationships, which often are the playground of lots of drama in everyone's life. Um, and you know, going down a rabbit hole around modesty and its role in Judaism, particularly, and what it actually represents. And I managed to find a really amazing YouTube video that gave a good example, which really opened my eyes in terms of Yesod and how it's a balance of all the other um Sephirot, which touched me, and I thought I'd share it here.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So can I yeah, so I'll do it quickly. The the description was that you get women are very deep, and they have a lot of insight and knowledge and wisdom and compassion, all these qualities, and that if and those qualities need to be kept as how am I going to describe it now?
Treasured.
Treasured is the word. And so if they're made freely available to the world to see and to appreciate, well, not appreciate, but the body is the vessel for those qualities. And so if the body is covered or protected in some ways, and those qualities are only for that select person who, you know, sees the depth in that person. They're not captured by the body and what they can see, then that right person will be attracted to you because they will not be blinded by the body. They'll be seeing who you are underneath it.
Beautiful.
And those who just realize, okay, there's going to be a bit of time here, they'll just buzz off. That really touched me. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I
Oh,
thought, wow,
beautiful.
yeah.
Perfect. And it's a perfect thing to bring up on the week of Yesod, 100%. Like just also channeling like our connection to ourselves, to Hashem and whatever. And also I thought you were going on a different track, like so I'm gonna take it there. Like just also we have so much to share. So often like if that's unrealized in a strong relationship, it can start flowing into other places. Do you know what I'm saying? So like so the ultimate relationship that we need to work on is our relationship with Hashem, obviously. Because then like even when things aren't like materializing in our lives properly, like within like for example, finding a partner that's right, or yet until Hashem decides that it's the right time, etc., until our blockages are removed, etc., and whatever the case may be and why it may be. But developing that strong relationship with Hashem and talking to Hashem and giving Hashem who we are and what we are, and like kind of like finding ourselves being realized despite not being like having the sense of like belonging in a partnership, is really important, even within a marriage, even when you're in a marriage, like, and sometimes maybe you're not like, maybe someone's not feeling realized or like seen or so it's outside of them. It's like before marriage and it's like within the marriage. Like it's just like, of course we need to develop the marriage relationship 100%, but I'm saying like at the heart of it is like our relationship with Hashem so that we could be whole and complete and like one with ourselves, and then bring ourselves into that like like Hashem and this comes from the philosophy of like Hashem desired us, didn't need us, desired us, and created the world out of desire. And the same is for us, like to work on desiring a person, but not needing. In other words, like not like we should be whole and complete within ourselves in like who we are, and then come from a point of desire as opposed to a point of like neediness. Now, obviously, we've got to we create voids in order to be needed and to need, so that like we can be vulnerable and share and like hold each other, etc. But it's important to come from a space of like wholeness with Hashem. Yeah. Okay, so for the last minute, if everybody just can relax and take a moment to just uncross your legs, uncross your arms. We're going to go into like a 1-minute meditation just to bring this element of Yesod into our bodies, and just relax your body, sitting upright, hands on thighs, upwards or downwards, however you please, feet on floor, and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And as you breathe out, just relax your body, your shoulders, your tummy, your sitting bones, your legs, your hands, your jaw, your face, your head, sitting upright but relaxed. And take another deep breath in, and even deeper breath out. Just connecting within the breath into the body, and breathing in for 4 and out for 6. And just getting into the temperature within the body, just connecting to breath, connecting to the sensations of your body, going inward, just feeling into how does my body feel in my head. And just while we're in our body, we could feel the feelings and we're present here, carry on breathing. And if you get thoughts that come your way, just gently bring them back to breath without judgment. And as we inhale, we're going to bring in this like element of like relationship with Hashem. I am a spark of Hashem. Breathe it in. I am one with Hashem. I'm perfectly pure spark of Hashem within me that is awesome and untouchable, and that can't be broken. And breathing out all the brokenness, all the woundedness, all the conditioning that surrounds our perfect essence, our pintele neshama, our point of soul. And just breathing in the kindness and love that Hashem surrounds us with pure abundance and blessings that Hashem wants us to unlock. And breathing out all the doubt and the critique on ourselves, on others, the harshness, and breathing in some softness, compassion for ourselves, for our spark within us, for those around us. Just breathing in a tiferet. And breathing out any harsh spots that we need to just breathe out. So we always have this beautiful process of breathing in the positive and breathing out the negative, oxygenating our body and then removing the carbon dioxide. It's really like our wind system within our internal system that can really just like cleanse us. Neshima is closely related to neshama. The breath is closely related to our soul path. Just going quiet and breathing into our neshama through our breath into our heart space and deep into our soul. And just reminding ourselves with faith and trust that every relationship, who I am, my relationship with Hashem, my relationship with loved ones, with the world, with who I encounter, it's all meant to be. It's all chosen by my neshama, by Hashem, for my good, with love, for my growth and refinements, and fulfilling my mission and purpose. And just breathe that in. And breathe out any hardships around that and challenge around that. Because there are challenging times and there are challenging relationships, and there's a lot of challenge around that within ourselves, within others. And acknowledging that it is hard sometimes, and it's okay. It's also the law of the universe. It's not meant to be easy. We're stretching, we're growing through growing pains sometimes, but we're growing. And just seeing the light of the path and the journey and the destination, but through the process, and not worrying about the destination, but enjoying. And even sometimes reminding ourselves when we don't enjoy the process. When we remind ourselves, it helps us to accept, invite in, and actually enjoy the process. even through the hardships. Hard to say it, but true. Breathing in and breathing out. And just taking a moment to go quiet and talking to Hashem about anything you need in order to help you with your Yesod. Your foundational truth here. And just like breathing in some gratitude and breathing out the hardships, and with getting back into our body and to where we are, just placing your feet on the ground and rubbing your hands on your thighs, gently coming back to the space, opening your eyes with a downward gaze. And when you're ready, just coming back here. And you can check out with a word in the chat or unmute yourself about what you're taking home from today. Surrender. Okay. Beautiful. Sense of calm and learning, self-love, union, happiness. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Much love. All the best.
Thanks,
God bless.
Izzy.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.